written there. Well, David, look, you're very committed to your job here on Letters and Numbers. Our contestants tonight are very committed to this competition, but we are all going to go home at the end of the night.
Let's hope, because there are some people who actually don't get to go home, and one such person was called George Turkelbaum. Now, he was a proofreader at a New York firm and working on medical textbooks in the main, always the first in to the office, the last to leave, a very diligent and industrious man. On one occasion, the overnight janitor was walking past and realised that there was still a worker there and prodded him, and George had passed away. And in fact, George had been dead for 5 days. Now, Turkelbaum has since become a word as a result of this incident. And it's important to realise that it has two meanings. Because, in fact, there's a lot of urban myth associated with this story, because when the Guardian UK newspaper investigated, they couldn't find much substance to this story, despite the fact it was reported by the Birmingham Mercury in 2001. The first is to be scammed, essentially, by an email frenzy, because this certainly did the rounds of cyberspace once the yarn was heard.
So, like, sort of to be scammed by an urban myth, to be taken in.
Yeah, to be Turkelbaumed. But the other is, if you work too hard and essentially kind of almost die on the job without your peers noticing, which is a very important part of this story, that is also to Turkelbaum. In fact, let's hope that none of our great players this week Turkelbaum to a halt.
I think there's little chance, but we will be very much focused on the job at hand.
We will.
Great story, David. Our scores in this quarter-final on this Monday night. Daniel, 11. Karen is only 1 point ahead on 12. We're going for our next letters. Daniel.
Could I start with a vowel, please?
Thank you. Let's start with E.
And another vowel, please?
U.
And another vowel, please?
Another E.
And could we have a consonant this time?
H.
And another consonant?
F.
Another consonant, please?
D.
And another one, please?
S.
Another consonant, please.
R.
And one last consonant.
And last letter, F.
Thank you, Lily. Time to think. How did you like those letters, Daniel?
I saw a risky 7, but I'll go with a 6.
You're going to go with the 6?
Yes.
Okay, Karen?
I've got an 8.
You've got an 8. Okay, that sounds very good. Well, let's have the 6 first, Daniel.
Ruffed.
Ruffed? Sorry.
R-U-F-F-E-D.
Oh, okay. That's almost like perhaps an Elizabethan ruff. Karen, you're 8.
Suffered.
Suffered. Well, David's enjoying suffered, I think.
Well, the pen suffered. We've retrieved the pen. The Turkelbaum story ushered, that's a 7, the word suffered into our minds perhaps. So let's just check ruffed. And ruffed, you are quite right. In fact, there is the collar by that same spelling, but it's also it's a card-playing term. To trump another's card is to ruff. So ruffed would have been good. Suffered is obviously where the points are.
Suffered is great. And Daniel, you did say you had a risky 7. What was your 7?
Duffers. I'm not sure if that's a word, though.
Duffers is fine as well.
Oh. Would have been fine, but not to worry. A great score for Karen, 8 points. Well, Karen certainly wouldn't have suffered from that score. Let's see what comes up in our next round, and you to choose, Karen.
Well, thanks, Richard. I'll start with a consonant again, please, Lily. Thank you. Let's start with T. And another. Y. And a third, please. S. And a fourth. C. And to the vowels again, please. I. And another one, please. U. And another vowel, please. O. And a consonant, please. L. And we'll finish with a vowel, please. And last letter, E.
30 seconds. time, Karen?
A 6, Richard.
And Daniel?
I have a 6.
What's that?
Locust.
And Karen?
Locust as well.
It's a plague over here. You could just verify. Excellent. Locust, very nice.
And the plague is besetting Egyptian society because society is a 7 there, Richard.
Nice find. Great scores though. Karen, Daniel, 6 each. Well, our first set of numbers were quite a challenge, so let's see what we get this time. Daniel, what's your accommodation?
Thanks, Richard. Could I have a classroom mix, please, Lily?
Thanks, Daniel. That's 1 large and 5 small. And starting with smalls, 5, 8, 10, 4, 7, and the large is 25. The target to reach is 583.
Let's head there. Daniel, how close this time?
I had 585.
585, just 2 off. Karen?
580, Richard.
580. You were closest, Daniel. Tell us what you did.
Okay, I had 10 plus 4 is 14.
10 plus 4 is 14.
And 14 times 25 is 600?
No, I don't think that's correct. Sorry, Daniel.
Oh, so you made a mistake, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay, bad luck, so we'll have to leave that. Now, Karen, you're still within the scoring zone. What was your total?
580.
580, so just 3 away. Take us through your method, please.
So I did 4 times 5 times 20. 4 times 5 times, do you mean 25? I did mean the 25. I wrote down 20.
So you've written down 20. Unfortunately, the rules of the game are we have to go by what you've written down on your calculations. So I'm afraid we can't give you that either. A little bit of quarterfinals challenge here. Lily, how did you go with this one?
I got there in the end, but it was really tricky, and I think with the pressure of the quarterfinals, I'm not surprised that there are a few mistakes. Now, 7 plus 4 is 11, and 11 by 5 is 55. 55 by 10 is 550, and then if you add the 25 and the 8 is 583.
Very nice method. Good stuff, Lily. Elegant solution, but unfortunately no score for Karen or Daniel there. So Daniel on 17, Karen on 26, as we head for our next break and your next word mix. It's born idea. The clue this time, a ball on oxygen.